Good morning, students. Hello, how are you all? I hope you will be fine. So, yesterday we have started a new lesson that is in geography, that is chapter 14, transportation, communication, and trade. Okay, you must have enjoyed that lesson, I hope so, because especially the traffic rules that were a little bit serious also and little bit comedy also I must have created. So, it's not a comedy, but we say it's a tragedy. We are definitely, sincerely should follow the traffic rules. But it doesn't happen anything while saying on this lecture or recording. Strictly we should implement it. That is for us also and especially for the student also. Everybody should follow those traffic rules so that the incidents that are being created can be avoided. So we completed different types of state highways, national highways. I give you the knowledge of state highway, national highway, express highway, border roads, then little bit some traffic rules. Now I tell you one thing, that in old book, traffic problem and traffic rules, some suggestion to remove traffic problem, there are just few rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rules. I am having both the books, new and old one. So the rules were so many that I have explained you from new textbook. Okay, so it may happen that you are with your textbook and saying that this type of things are not in my textbook. So it may be that it will be your old textbook. In the new textbook, there are more than near about 12 to 15 rules. Okay, so we have completed till traffic rules. Okay, today we'll start with the railways. You know that the first railway was invented in 1853 AD between Mumbai and Thane in 1853. See, Britishers ruled on us. We were not against the British rule. We were against the policy of the Britishers. We were not against the Britishers. We were against the policy of the Britishers. Britishers ruled on us. They ruled more than 350 years. In the first year only, they looted 100 crores from India. In that time, in 80s, just think, 80s and 70s, they ruled on us for more than 350 years. Yes, and in that time, they looted in the first year 100 crores. So we were, again I repeat, we were not against the Britishers. We were against the policy of the Britishers. Britishers ruled on us, they went away. But they gave us few things. That is, I say that it was important to us. Yes. The main thing is the English language, in which me and you are just listening and I'm explaining this English language. It was given by Britishers. Then telegram, then railway system. Then Britishers also removed child marriages, but still in some corners of India, child marriages do prevail. Then widow remarriage, Britishers gave the permission. Then there are certain customs that were removed by Britishers, and there were new things that we got. So we were not against the British rule, not Britishers, but we were against their policies. They gave the importance to education also, with our few Indian freedom fighters. So this was the thing in previous time. So now railway. Railway is also one type of gift given from Britishers. In 1853 AD, the first railway was started with Mumbai and Thane. There were 3 gauges: narrow gauge, meter gauge, and broad gauge. Now only broad gauge is available. Now I tell you what is the difference between narrow gauge, meter gauge, and broad gauge. The train which is running from Veerawal, Sasangir, that is narrow gauge, meter gauge. It's a meter gauge, yes. And the train that is running from Bhavnagar to Mumbai, it's a narrow gauge. It will become the broad gauge. From Bhotad, it is not a broad gauge. So our train is to go via Surendranagar to Mumbai. The work is in progress. As soon it will become a broad gauge, it will go direct to Mumbai. Then I think Surendranagar Holt may come or not. So these are the difference. So railways. Indian Railway is the largest national institution. Indian Railways is the main medium of transportation to cooperate in the economic field of India, such as agriculture, industries, trade, service, etc. It has major contribution in national security, peace management to establish cultural and geographical unity and maintain it. India ranks first in Asia and second in the world in railways, progress of railways. First railway in India started in 1853 between Mumbai and Thane. There are three types of railways in India. They are broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge. The meter gauge and narrow gauge railway track are being converted into broad gauge, that I give you the example. In recent times, there is a big achievement of Indian Railways. This is a big achievement. In meter gauge, the space between the two that rail is less, and a broad gauge it's too broad. This is a big achievement for Indian Railways. Due to different gauges, lot of time was wasted in traveling and transporting passenger goods. So much money also was wasted. Railway network is more dense in states which have a plain region, dense population, industrial development, intensive agriculture, and have rich mineral fields. Large cities like Kolkata, Delhi, Jaipur have metro rails also. Work has started on the metro rail project between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. Monorail have proved very important to connect Mumbai with suburbs. Suburb means some of the areas where train is not going. Monorail is going. That contract is given to Ambani and the work in progress for monorail. I think at few places it has been started also. Railway is useful in the transfer of passengers and material goods. Besides, it is also useful for the speedy transport of food, grains and forage during a drought. From defense point of view also, it is useful for transferring soldiers and weapons. Konkan Railway. Konkan is one of the best railway. When you go from Mumbai to Goa, the scenario is very best. So people used to love traveling in train. I know very much traveling in train. Train is my favorite. As my father was employed in railway, he was a TT. So I always respect railway and I am very fond of railways. And Konkan Railway, it is the best to travel in Konkan Railway, as especially in monsoon. Whenever you get the time, just try it. Konkan Railway has provided a good example by laying down railway track through tunnels in mountain regions which were highly inaccessible. When we are small, we were eager to sit in windows, just look outside of the rain, and especially when the river used to come, bridge used to come, and train used to go from the tunnel. These are the things we love it. When you go Goa, Mumbai to Goa, it's a Konkan Railway, best railway. Train used to move from suburbs, means from that tunnel, and the some tunnel are 1 kilometer long, 2 kilometer long. So we love these all things. And I tell you one thing, that trains are very regular on western side. We are having the western railway. WR is written on railway, that is the western railway. NR is written north side, so it is northern railway. ER means eastern railway and SR means southern railway. So train are very particular and on time and in discipline in western railways. And in north, south, east, train are late, always late, 1 hour, 2 hour, it's normal. So Konkan Railway has provided a good example by laying down railway tracks through tunnels in the mountainous region which were highly inaccessible. Indian Railway is considered to be excellent for time, safety and facility, and it is being modernized very fast. The route nowadays you must have seen the railways, they are like palaces. There is a train named Palace on Wheel. You just find it in the YouTube. Then Maharaja Express. You won't believe that this type of trains are available. And the fare means Enu Bhadu. What do you think it must be? Normally it is 3,50,000 per person. Yes, it's a 7 days package. And maximum NRI used to travel in that. Yes, just search it out. You may feel that 3,50,000. Yes, it's 3,50,000 per person. The Palace on Wheel and the Maharaja Express. So the route between Dibrugarh and Kanyakumari is the longest railway route in India. It is known as Vivek Express. In Gujarat, Ahmedabad is the biggest railway station. Biggest railway station of Gujarat is Ahmedabad. Why? Because there are 12 platforms. Bhavnagar has 2 platforms. Ahmedabad is having 12, Baroda is having 6, Surat is having 8. These are the different types of platforms. So other important railway junctions are Mehsana, Viramgam, Rajkot, Vadodara, Surat, Anand, etc. So this was the railways. Now I told you that some trains are late. I had an experience. I went to MP, Ratlam. Yes, so some trains are weekly. It comes once in a week or twice in a week. My train was in morning 10 o'clock. It was 2 hours late. It was not obvious that trains are maximum time late over that side. After 2 hours I went there, again it is 3 hours late. Like that. It's evening and then it became night. Train didn't appear. So in such cases, you get your refund back, but you have to go through so many procedures. So this thing happens. So this was the railways, but railway is the cheapest means of transportation. Yes, बहुत सस्तु है railway. Cheapest than the buses. So maximum people love to travel in railway. So this was railway. Now water. You must have seen the luxurious steamers and boats sailing on the river, like Star Cruise, Star Libra, Star Virgo. In previous time there was Titanic. It was one of the huge ship, but now that ship is no more. So this different type of luxury ships are there, through which you can travel anywhere. So water transportation was carried out in India since ancient times. All transactions were done through waterways. All the things were done through waterways when there were no railways. When roads and railways did not exist. Compared to road and railways, the waterways are cheaper. Yes, waterways are cheaper than railways because no expense is incurred in their construction or maintenance. It's moving on water. So there is no expense on construction of the road and anything. There are two types of waterways in India: internal waterways and oceanic waterways. Internal water transportation service are developed more in Assam, West Bengal and Bihar states of Northeast India, while in South India, internal waterways are used more for services. Transportation of river canal. West Bengal, Assam, Tamil Nadu and Bihar are important states as river waterways, steamers and large boats use the permanent waterways. To maintain the internal water transportation, the government has recognized the following waterways as national waterways. National waterway number 1, that is Ganga River, that is Haldia Allahabad, 1620 km. And national waterway number 2, that is Brahmaputra River, that is Dubri Sadia, Dubri to Sadia, that is 891 km. National waterway number 3, that is West Coast Canal, Kollam and Kotupuram, that is 250 km. And national waterway number 4, Godavari Krishna River, Kakinada. We have one train from Bhavnagar to Kakinada. From Kakinada to Puducherry, that is 1078 km. And national waterway number 5, that is Brahmani River, Gumkhali to Talcher, that is 588 kilometers. So now what is oceanic waterway? India has about 7,516 kilometer long coastline. Along this coastline, there are 13 major and about 200 minor ports. After Shipping Corporation of India was founded, there has been much development of national and international waterways. Kandla, Mumbai, Nhava Sheva, Marmagua, New Mangalore and Kochi ports are located on the western coast, while Kolkata, Haldia, Paradip, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Tuticorin, etc. are main ports of eastern coast. So Gujarat has got a long coastline of about 1600 km. Kandla is the highest port of Gujarat. Bhavnagar is the only port of having automatic lock gate system. Yes, we have a lock gate. There is a big history behind the lock gate. Sometimes I'll tell you, not now. So we have the lock gate of about a lock gate system. Porbandar is a free port for the entire year. Other important ports are Viraval, Sikka, Pipavav, Naulakhi, Mundra, Poshitra, Okha and Hajira. So a project is undertaken to develop Poshira port. Alang is a kind of port. So this we talk about roadways. we talk about the railways, and now we'll talk about the airways. So you must be knowing airways means going by flight anywhere. So it is the speediest and costliest mode among all types of transportation. Airways are used to reach distant places. Through airways you can reach any distant place, remote and dense forest, and to reach those places which are not accessible easily by road. So where railways, waterways and roadways doesn't reach, airways used to reach there through plane or through by helicopter. So the water remained favorable for aviation almost together throughout the year. In present day, airways are used more and more. Nowadays, airways are also what we say very cheap at some places. So people are maximum using airways. The airways service in India were as air mail services between Allahabad and Naini. It was run by private company. Today, Air India and other private companies provided air transportation services. Today, Airport Authority of India carries out the management of 127 airports, which includes 15 international, 87 domestic, 25 civilian airport terminals. There are international airports such as Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, New Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Ahmedabad, etc. Pawan Hans helicopter provides helicopter service to ONGC and to government. So this was the airways. Now other means of transportation, that is pipeline and a ropeway. Pipeline. Through pipeline we get the gas lines. Pipelines are used to transport liquid materials such as water, mineral oil, natural gas and other liquids. And an oil pipeline exists between Nahakatia or Assam to Nunmati, Baroni. One pipeline goes from Kalol to Koyali in Gujarat and from Sayala to Mathura. A pipeline has been installed from Bombay High up to Mumbai coast. In Gujarat, natural gas is transported through pipeline to Khambat, Dhuvaran, Koyali, Ahmedabad. Cooking gas is provided through pipelines to Surat, Khambat, Dhuvaran, pipeline to Surat, Bharuch, Vadodara, Ahmedabad, Jamnagar, Morbi, Rajkot and Gandhinagar cities. Ropeway. You know, nowadays there is a ropeway in Girnar, everybody is visiting there. So ropeway we have at many places. We used to go from ropeway from one place to another. So ropeways. In mountainous region, the summits are connected by ropeway. Summit means place that is connected by ropeway from one end to another. To transport goods and passengers, there are about 100 ropeways in India. Ropeways are seen in Darjeeling, Kulu Manali, Cherrapunji, Haridwar, etc. In North India and the mountainous regions of Chennai and Malay. The ropeway service in Gujarat are available in Pavagad, Saputara and Ambaji. Work for ropeway has started at Girnar in Junagadh. This is all good. That project is over. Girnar in Junagadh, this project is almost done and the service has been started. Communication. Communication means getting in touch of each other. That is a communication. The arrangement to send or collect information from one place to another is called communication. The communication system has provided extremely useful in life for relief and rescue works at the time of natural hazards like a flood, drought, cyclone, tsunami. The communication system plays an important role in the economic, social and cultural progress and for maintaining national integration and unity. In ancient time, messages were sent by playing the dole, drum. Dandaro beat. Like that way communication was done. One person used to go in the village, used to just drum that thing and give the message. By smoke, by pigeon, kabutar ki message bolta tha, and through other animals. In modern communication, mail services, telegraph, telephone, mobile, telephone, smartphone and satellite have made the communication very speedy and easy. Services, science and technology had contributed very much in developing the field of communication. Today we can see all important events like live, all the incidents we see the live. Communication can be divided into two parts. individual communication system and mass communication system. Individual communication system. Internal and smartphones are effective among individual communication system like email, e-commerce, exchange of currency, etc. have been very fast due to internet. Moreover, there has been a revolution in telecommunication through various applications of social media. We have different type of applications. Villagers also remain in live contact with people locally and in abroad. Mass communication means there are two mass communication: print media and electronic media. Newspaper, periodicals, magazines, these are the print medias, and TV channels, news channels, these are the electronic media, radio, television, then this many. Now see, there are two types of mediums in communication system: print media, which include newspaper, magazine, pamphlets; electronic media, which include Akashvani and Doordarshan. Prasar Bharati is the autonomous body of transmission in the country. Its two divisions are Akashvani and Doordarshan. There are 450 radio stations in the country today. It broadcasts program in 23 languages. 52 radio stations are there, and see, 415 radio stations are there, and in 23 languages they used to broadcast the messages. It can be used conveniently in the most remote area also. It becomes an important unit for contacts at the time of natural disasters with use of satellites, Doordarshan, news, water reports, weather reports, and program of entertainment and education are also telecast. Today, many private channels also have started programs like Doordarshan. There are so many private channels. They have started the program like same as Doordarshan. Satellite communication. Artificial satellites have their own communication skills, but along with that, it also controls other mediums of communication. The Indian national satellites, that is INSAT, satellites launched by India, are multi-purpose system which is helpful to Doordarshan for the forecast of weather, cyclone and thunderstorm warning for disasters, research and other telecast. Besides, there has been a development of indigenous polar satellite launch vehicle, that is PSLV, through the Indian Research Sensing Satellite, that is IRS. Now trade. See, there are two types of trade: national and international. The trade which is taking place in the internal parts of India, state to state, city to city, that is national trade. The trade taking place out of India, India to Dubai, India to America, India to South Africa, that is known as international trade. India is a vast country. At some places there are mountainous regions, coastal plains and desert. Same type of diversity is seen in climate, vegetation, mineral resources and energy resources. We see different type of weather, food, culture in every corner of India. So India is a vast country. There are different crops in every region and also the difference in individual output. As a result, there are two types of trade system in India, in the country: internal trade, international trade. I told you what is internal and international. The commodities available in excessive quantity of one state is transported to another state and vice versa. This is known as internal trade. For example, Punjab produces more wheat, so it is exported to the other states of India. So this is internal trade. It is transported only in India. But Punjab does not have a sea coast. Punjab is not having the sea coast, so it gets its salt from Gujarat and we sell them salt. So this is internal trade, just taking place in India or in the state to state. Thus, every state exports its products. The internal trade has developed in India due to this international trade. The system in which different countries of the world export and import their requirement can be called international trade. It is necessary to maintain trade balance and international trade. Otherwise, there would be a negative trade balance. If a country exports more than it imports, its trade balance is positive. This increases the reserve of foreign exchange of our country. If the import exceeds the export, then the trade balance is negative. I repeat, if a country exports more than it imports, more than we send to other country, we get that from that country. It's a positive thing. But we don't produce more and we get minimum from other country. It's a negative thing. So it is the import exceeds the export that the trade balance is negative. The currency value of that country which increases its export increases international market and the currency value decreases in the international market of those countries which increase their imports. After the liberalization policy of 1991, there have been many changes in international trade of India. In last few years, the trade balance of India is mostly negative. In order to make it trade balance positive, the government has started Make in India project. So we are sending so many things from here to in the other countries. Due to this system, many foreign companies will produce their goods in India and will export them to foreign countries. Now we shall study the export-import trade of India. See, after 1991 reforms, government started three main policies, that is globalization, liberalization and privatization. Now this thing we'll study in next chapter. Yes, it is going to come in other chapter. That is in, I tell you in which chapter. It will come in chapter number 15 or 16. I'll let you know. See, yes, it will come in chapter number 6. After 1991, three policies were created, that is economic liberalization, globalization and privatization. What is this? Because after freedom movement, business was very tough. In each and everything, you are supposed to take permission from government. So business was not getting that success ratio. So government removed liberal policy. Government made the policies liberal. Business की सब policy एकदम liberal कर दी. So it's known as liberalization. Then private companies were invited into government companies. They just take interest in our companies. And government and that people were taking over the government companies. It is known as privatization. Means we were having first GB that turned to PGBCL. GB was a Gujarat board, Gujarat Electric Board that was run by government. Now PGBCL, they have taken this thing. Then Bitcoin, it was in the hand of ST. Now private companies taken. So these are the things. And globalization. We were not supposed to allow any foreign countries to do business in India, but we allow them. This thing is known as globalization. So after 1991 policy, 1991 reforms, three policies came: economic globalization, privatization, liberalization. Due to that, business increased in India. This will be learning in the next chapter. I just gave the introduction of it, not in 15 but in 16 chapters. So after this 14, I'm not going to take the 15th lesson, I'm going to take the 16th lesson as I've introduced these three things, that's why. Then after we'll do 15th lesson. Import trade of India. Indian iron production in India is not sufficient. India imports iron and copper. The demand for mineral oil and lubricants is more for transportation and for keeping the machines active. These are imported. We also import machines, pearls, moti, and gemstones. Gemstone means stone that we wear in the fingers. And edible oils. Edible oil means that we eat. Till, as per our requirements. We import these things from USA, Germany, Russia, Myanmar, Iran, etc. Export trade of India. Only a limited portion of production is allowed to be exported. Limited portion we export. So that its price may not increase with the country. With import raw materials for few things, manufacture some goods from them and then export them. India export includes iron ore and minerals, engineering goods such as cycle, fan, sewing machines, car, railway, sewing machine, you must be knowing, C1 machine, cars, railway, coaches, computer, software, etc. We also export chemical and the things related to them. Gemstones, hide and leather goods, cotton, textile, fish and its products, handicraft, tea, coffee, jute and its products, and ready-made clothes. Okay, so children, here we are ending chapter number 14. Now we are supposed to continue with chapter number 16, that is economic liberalization and globalization, in our next lecture. So I advise you to read chapter 14 and also go through chapter 16, just read it. So when I will speak, when I will explain, when I will say, it will be very easy for you to understand it and you will get it all fundamental clear. Okay, so go through my lecture, listen it carefully, and the next lecture we are going to continue with chapter number 16. So have a great day. Thank you very much.